Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon Perna, and I've got a riddle for you. If your starting quarterback is supposedly the greatest of all time, then why are you drafting another QB every 2 years? Now, some will tell you that it's to develop a backup quarterback. That's dumb. If the Patriots really wanted a good backup quarterback, they would have signed Ryan Fitzpatrick or Chase Daniels at least once. Some will tell you that quarterbacks are an investment and that you can trade them for a higher draft pick than you spent on them. Now that doesn't make any sense because with how hard it is to find a decent quarterback, you're going to want to keep him if he's anywhere near good. But I know the truth about these quarterbacks. And the truth is that these quarterbacks are the kind. Sorry, I was trying to reveal secrets about the New England Patriots. And as I should have known, they cut my mic. Anyways, at the end of this video, I will tell you exactly why the Patriots drafted 10 quarterbacks while Tom Brady was on the roster. And we will go through all 10 and what they meant to the Patriots. Let's get it, sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like football videos. I'm your guy. Today's episode is sponsored by Fubo TV. 7 months ago, I cut my daughter's umbilical cord. 1 month ago, I cut my cord. My cord to the cable company. And unlike my daughter, Fubo TV actually saves me money. Now, I chose Fubo TV because they have the best sports package, and I can watch my Good Morning Football while riding in the AM. Fubo TV comes with over 100 of your favorite channels at about half the cost of cable and has cloud DVR so you can watch anything you record on whichever device you choose. It's incredibly easy to set up. It literally takes just a couple minutes and you can try it for free and cancel at any time with no 2-year commitment like you need with cable. Sign up for a risk-free trial of Fubo TV and get 15% off your first month by going to FuboTV.com/thatsgoodsports. That's FuboTV.com/thatsgoodsports to start your free trial and get 15% off your first month of Fubo TV. Okay, let's run down the list of quarterbacks Billy Belichick needed to have despite having found a Hall of Fame QB who would go on to win 6 Super Bowls as a Patriot. Starting in 2002, round 4, pick 117, Rohan Davey out of LSU. The first quarterback, Rohan Davey, whose head was so big that he struggled at times to even put on his helmet. Rohan Davey's middle name is St. Patrick, which is much cooler than Brady's middle name, Edward Patrick. And when I look at these two quarterbacks side by side, I can't tell you which one looks more Irish. Davey was picked in 2002, just a few months after the Patriots won their first Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Davey only completed 8 passes in his career and was eventually released in favor of Doug Flutie. My running theory is that Davey put on weight, changed his name to Vince Wilfork, and switched to nose tackle, where he enjoyed a very successful career. 1 year later, 2003, round 6, pick 201, Cliff Kingsbury out of Texas Tech. Oh, look who it is! Some guy with the nicest house in Arizona. Cliff Kingsbury is definitely a better coach than he was a quarterback, and we still don't know if he's even a good coach. Just doing a brief Wikipedia check, Cliff Kingsbury's middle name does not also start with a K, so we're all good on that front. Kingsbury never actually threw a pass in his 1 season as a Patriot, but he did pick up a Super Bowl ring for his troubles. 2005, round 7, pick 230, Matt Castle out of USC. Castle is probably the second most successful of all of the Brady backups. When Matt Castle took over for Brady in 2008, after Brady tore his ACL, He hadn't started a game since high school. Yes, you are hearing that correctly. The Patriots spent a 7th round pick on Matt Leinert's backup at USC. And it was honestly a great pick, even though they probably could have got him as an undrafted free agent. Castle led the Pats to an 11-5 season and later made a Pro Bowl in Kansas City. Castle never got to win a Super Bowl like Rohan Davey and Cliff Kingsbury, but he did make it to the Little League World Series Championship, which is probably way harder than being the best of 32 NFL teams. 2008, round 3, pick 94, Kevin O'Connell out of San Diego State. I really can't tell you much about Kevin O'Connell, other than he's not the guy that played E in Entourage. That's Kevin Conley. And he's a full foot shorter. Kind of a waste of a 3rd round pick considering he had 23 career passing yards, but he turned into a pretty good coach after he retired. You will notice getting drafted by the Patriots as a backup QB is really the world's most successful coach and training program. Basically the exact opposite of the Bill Belichick coaching tree, which he purposely poisons before letting it branch off and die for another franchise. 2010, round 7, pick 250, Zack Robinson out of Oklahoma State. Zack Robinson, who was born in Littleton, Colorado, and is currently the wide receivers coach for the LA Rams. He amassed an NFL stat line of nothing. 0. Nothing much to tell you here other than he bounced around on a couple teams and he appears to be auditioning for something called Oklahoma Idol right here. Out of these 5 quarterbacks that were drafted, I would call one of them a good pick, Matt Castle. The rest just didn't pan out, which happens to most quarterbacks, especially the ones that don't get taken in the 1st round. You could even argue that Matt Castle was actually too good. The Pats went 11-5 without Brady, which cost them a chance to draft in the top 10, hell maybe top 5, where they could have taken another quarterback, Mark Sanchez, who proved to be their playoff kryptonite. 2011, round 3, pick 74, Ryan Mallet, Arkansas. This is the man who does not respect alarm clocks. The 6'6", 250-pound quarterback out of Arkansas only threw 9 touchdowns in the NFL, but he was a 3rd round pick, the highest QB selected by the Patriots since drafting Brady. They could have had Jarrell Casey, who was taken 3 picks later, but oh well. New England eventually traded Mallet to Houston, where he lost the starting job to Ryan Fitzpatrick. No shame in that though. 2014, round 2, things get crazy. Pick 64, Jimmy Garoppolo out of Eastern Illinois. Easily the handsomest quarterback on this list, and that's why Tom Brady was turned into an insecure, jealous loser that personally had Garoppolo traded to San Francisco for under market value. Jimmy G was taken 1 pick ahead of Jarvis Landry, which would have been a perfect pick for the Patriots, but Garoppolo had a couple nice games in New England and obviously came within a couple missed throws of a Super Bowl win with the Niners. And unless he ever returns to the Super Bowl and gets a win, he'll be most famous for going on a date with porn star Kiara Mia that one time. 2016, round 3, pick 91, Jacobi Brassette out of North Carolina State. Now, I think this is the most interesting pick on the list because Jimmy G was still on the Patriots roster. Knowing some of the talent the Patriots could have had instead of backup QBs backing up the greatest Patriots QB ever, the Brassette pick might just be the domino that fell, forcing Tom Brady to eventually leave New England. They could have had all-pro safety Justin Simmons, who went 7 picks later. But oh well, not like Simmons would have stopped any of those Nick Foles deep balls in the Super Bowl. Tight end Tyler Higbee went 19 picks later. But oh well, the Pats never like to have 2 good tight ends on the roster. Or Dak Prescott, 1 round later. Oh well. Imagine what the Patriots season would have looked like in 2020 if Dak Prescott were their QB. His ankle never would have snapped in half, and I damn near guarantee the Patriots would have been in the playoffs and Bill Belichick would still be looked at as the man who made Brady instead of the new truth, the homeless man who Brady made. 2018, round 7, pick 219, Danny Etling out of LSU. Etling ended his NFL career as a wide receiver, which is basically all you have to know about his career as a QB. That said, I think there's no issue drafting backup quarterbacks in the 7th round when you have your guy. It's literally the cheapest way to employ a backup for a quarterback who not only got injured just once in his career, but is in the process of defying Father Time. 2019, round 4, pick 133, Jarrett Stidham out of Auburn. Remember when Jarrett Stidham was supposed to be the heir apparent to Tom Brady? Up until June 28th last season, he was the starter in New England. Then they signed Cam Newton, and it was very clear that Stidham, who's thrown 2 touchdowns and 4 picks in his career, was never going to be the guy to replace Brady. And that's been confirmed just about any time he's gotten onto the field. Dre Greenlaw taken about 15 picks later, Andrew Van Ginkel right after that. No, oh well this time, you fucked up, Bill. You could have had Van Ginkel and Van Noy. Although if you see a guy who looks like this with 2 vans, your first thought is serial killer. Okay, I teased at the beginning of this video that I would tell you why the Patriots took 10 quarterbacks, one every 2 years basically, while they had the supposed GOAT under center. Well, there are 2 reasons. 1, Bill Belichick is a very shitty evaluator of talent in his advanced age. He's very good at getting the most out of that talent, but he's lost his ability to find it. So his success rate at drafting quarterbacks is about as good as the rest of the NFL, which is to say, not very good at all. The second reason, he was trying to replace Tom Brady that entire time. If they could win 6 Super Bowls with Tom Brady, how many could they have won with a good quarterback? Brady was clearly insecure, which is why he didn't help develop any of those guys, and even kicked Jimmy Garoppolo out of the TB12 facility for being more handsome and better at football than him. And the Patriots are about to prove they preferred Jimmy G the whole time by trading for him 4 years after they sent him away to the 49ers. How many quarterbacks did the Colts take when they had Peyton Manning? 2, Jim Sorgi and Curtis Painter. Hardly quarterbacks at all. I mean, one guy had his preferred profession in his last name, Painter. Threat level, -10,000. The Colts weren't actively trying to replace their Hall of Fame quarterback because he was good. Instead, they were whiffing on 90% of their defensive picks in the draft. If Bill Belichick thought more highly of Tom Brady, maybe they win 1 or 2 more Super Bowls together as they draft a key defender or an offensive weapon like I mentioned with Jarvis Landry. That's the crazy part, right? Bill's ego probably cost him a ring or 2, which luckily makes me very, very happy. And the third reason they took 10 quarterbacks? They're fucking crazy. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on the YouTubes. You can follow me on Twitter at Brandon Perna or my coffee company at Benchwarmer Brew. Check us. Instagram, Twitter at Benchwarmer Brew. Another video on the screen if you want to watch it.